Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a while. I've been super busy with both uni exams and projects for clients, etc. But anyways, no bullshit, let's get into this. So Pirates of the Caribbean has got to be one of my favorite trilogies or franchises, whatever you call it. The reason why I say trilogy is because the last two movies doesn't exist for me, especially the last one, because the fourth one technically goes off on a tangent, but it doesn't muddle with the existing story. However, the fifth and the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie, they delved into Jack Sparrow's backstory. And that's what I really didn't like. And continuity wise, it messed up a lot of the small treasures and the small clues that were left in the original first three movies that gave us a hint to the backstory of Jack Sparrow. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. Jack Sparrow's backstory. And you know, with my obsession with Jack Sparrow, there was a period of time where I was looking online, watching a lot of the compilations, montages, famous quotes by the character, iconic quotes by the character, and I came across this video called Serious Moments of Jack Sparrow. It's a really good video, you can just YouTube it, it'll come up, and it made me realize two things. One, the soundtrack of the third movie at World's End, it's fucking incredible. After watching that video, I went back and looked up the soundtrack of the entire third movie, and that has probably my favorite soundtrack out of the entire trilogy. I love the classic He's a Pirate. I love the Black Pearl theme, but oh my god, just there's something about the soundtrack of the third movie that just really, I just really like it. It's very melancholy and bittersweet. The second point the video made me realize is there was so much good scenes and good dialogue that was cut from the third movie. And like honestly, I can kind of understand why it's cut. I mean, that movie was 3 hours long or something. Let me check. Yeah, that movie was 2 hours and 49 minutes. So it's a very long movie, and the plot, you know, it's not a perfect movie. The plot is a bit convoluted. So many ups and downs, too many characters. But there is this one particular scene between Jack Sparrow and Cutler Beckett, is when he goes on the ship to talk out a deal with Cutler Beckett, and the original dialogue of that scene was actually cut out. It wasn't just cut out, it was replaced with another dialogue that arguably doesn't shorten the length at all. But the dialogue we got in the final cut is nowhere near as rich as the dialogue we would have got in the original script. Let me explain to you why and what I mean. Let's jog your memory a little bit, right? So we have a scene where Jack walks onto, well, not really. So Jack gets taken into the room where Cutler Beckett is, and Cutler Beckett says, I'm gonna try to do my best Cutler Beckett impression here. Curious. Your friends appear to be quite desperate, Jack. Perhaps they no longer believe that a gathering of squabbling pirates can defeat the Flying Dutchman, and so despair leads to betrayal. But you and I are no strangers to betrayal, are we, Jack? So let's just break down this dialogue here, right? First we have, curious. Your friends appear to be quite desperate. Perhaps they no longer believe that a gathering of squabbling pirates can defeat the Flying Dutchman. Not really informative. We are essentially being hinted at that there's some sort of betrayal and double crossing going on, which, if I remember correctly, at this point in the movie, we already know. So it's nothing really new to us. So the only part that's really informative is the last sentence. But you and I are no strangers to betrayal, are we, Jack? They betrayed each other, or some sort of betrayal happened between them. Most likely, Jack Sparrow betrayed Cutler Beckett. However, let's take a look at the original cut, which you can find just by YouTubing Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End deleted scenes. And here is the dialogue. I'm going to try to read in Cutler Beckett's voice again, and Jack's. Remarkable. The last I saw of that ship, she was on fire. A blackened hull sinking beneath the waves. We had a deal, Jack. I contracted you to deliver cargo on my behalf. You chose to liberate it. People on cargo, mate. And you incurred a heavy debt to raise her up again, didn't you? Alright, so let's just take it sentence by sentence and break it down. There is so much packed behind these few lines. Cutler Beckett starts off by saying, remarkable, the last I saw of that ship, she was on fire, a blackened hull sinking beneath the waves, which gives us a hint as to how the Black Pearl became the Black Pearl. So clearly the Black Pearl originally wasn't black, but it was only black because it was burning for some odd reason, most likely to do with some sort of conflict, and it has sunk beneath the waves. So the ship was actually destroyed and is sunk. And Cutler Beckett continues to say, "We had a deal, Jack. I contracted you to deliver cargo on my behalf and you chose to liberate it." And Jack replies with, "People aren't cargo, mate." There's so much here. So first of all, we learned that Jack Sparrow and Cutler Beckett used to be in a working relationship. So Jack used to work for the East India Trading Company to deliver, well, cargo, which in this case are probably slaves given their period of time, since Jack said people aren't cargo, mate. So it shows that Jack betrayed Cutler Beckett by liberating or freeing the slaves that he was supposed to be shipping. Now, let's just let that sink in for a moment. The Jack Sparrow we know, he had his own strong moral compass that couldn't allow him to ship slaves. He feel like people should be free, and freedom, that is such a core part of Jack's character.
What the Black Pearl really is freedom.
And Cutler Beckett goes on to say, "And you incurred a heavy debt to raise her up again, didn't you?" One simple line ties back into the story of the Black Pearl. So we know that Black Pearl was burnt, which is why it's black, it sunk beneath the waves, and Jack Sparrow incurred a heavy debt to raise her up. And that once again brings us back to why Jack Sparrow owed a debt to Davy Jones. Basically throughout the entire second and the third movie, we know that Jack owed Davy Jones some sort of debt, which is why he had to ship 100 souls to the other side. But we didn't know what the debt was, and now a simple line of dialogue by Cutler Beckett, we now know that so Jack incurred this heavy debt because he probably asked Davy Jones to raise the ship up from the debt to save his beloved Pearl from sinking. Like, let's just think about that for a moment. There is this is 3 sentences by Cutler Beckett and 1 response by Jack. It showed so much backstory of Jack Sparrow and so much character behind Jack Sparrow. It's remarkable. And honestly, it really makes you look at Jack Sparrow differently as a character, right? He's no longer just this irreverent, unpredictable pirate, but he's now suddenly a 3-dimensional character with backstory and a moral compass. Beneath everything, the quirks, the jokes, beneath all that facade, he is a good person. And I think that just adds so much. There's more I want to talk about Jack Sparrow as well, but I want to just make today's video really short and sweet and have it focus on this deleted scene that I feel like was such a missed opportunity. By changing it from, "Curious Jack, your friends appear to be quite desperate," which offered no information at all, to something that actually give us a hint of the backstory of Jack Sparrow, a hint of the relationship between Jack Sparrow and Cutler Beckett, as well as a hint of Jack's moral compass beneath everything that he's showing above the surface. I don't know, what do you guys think? And also, I think after explaining this, you sort of understand why the backstory in the last movie, in the 5th movie, kind of ruins all of this by showing that, oh, Jack was a pirate since he was young and he outsmarted this general. I don't know, it's much less interesting. It's so much more interesting when it's simply just hinted at, and with a few sentences of dialogue, we kind of get a picture of what things were like. But yes, thumbs up if you liked the video and subs if you haven't already, because it will really help me out, and let me know in the comments below if you liked the video. And go enjoy your movies.